and record. And Courtney, you could take yourself off mute.
Okay, perfect.
And if you want people to, to interact with you, feel free, and they can take themselves off mute. But I just want to kick things off. We're starting at 9:01, so I'm pretty prompt and on schedule typically. So tonight, we're doing our series. We have I set up a series with Craig Collier on like a leadership conference, and I've gotten different speakers lined up, and this is our third speaker, I believe, and her name is Courtney Bell, right?
Correct. You got it.
Okay, good. I just lost it there for a second.
No worries.
Courtney is an elite coach, and I asked if she could talk to us about getting coaches started right. And Craig immediately recommended her. He said that she is an expert at this. So I'm really excited that she's here to talk to us tonight, and she can give us some tips on, it doesn't matter if you're an emerald coach and getting your coaches started right, or, a diamond, star diamond, whatever, or, things that we can apply as a team. So, Courtney, if you want to take it away.
Sure. Thank you guys for having me. I don't know that I'm an expert, but I will tell you that I am constantly somebody that fails forward and is not unwilling to revise or take a deeper look at what I'm doing right, what I'm not doing right, and making those revisions. And I think regardless of whatever you're doing, that part's really important, that self-reflection piece. And I've definitely done a lot of that in the past 2.5 years, because it's important. If you're going to lead anybody, you have to lead yourself first, and you've got to be able to figure out what you do great, what you need to work on, and then set a plan, and let other people help you do that. But just to give you guys a little bit of background information, I know I was sharing some of this as you guys might have hopped in, but I've been a coach for about 2.5 years now. I signed on in July 2013, and I'm an educator by trade, if you will. I have a degree in early childhood and a master's as an intervention specialist. And so I started working in the preschool setting, always with universities. So I've always worked kind of non-traditional teaching schedules and career. But I was working with preschool age children, and my husband is a swim coach, a college swim coach. So we move every couple years, and for his opportunity mostly, and we lived in Buffalo at the university, working at the University of Buffalo, and I was working with student athletes. I was the learning specialist. So I got a chance to work with adult learners for the first time, and I sort of fell in love with working with adults, and especially working with athletes and coaching them to be better students, better friends, better on the field. And when we left Buffalo after almost 4 years and moved to Virginia, I really struggled to find a job that I felt rewarded me in the same way. I was working with students with disabilities, and I loved interacting with the students, but in terms of the leadership and just where I could grow and where I could keep learning was really lacking. And with that just became, I was just unhappy, and I'm not an unhappy person, but it's amazing when your career doesn't provide you with a lot of value, or you feel valued, how that can really make you devalue yourself, like make you question, what you're supposed to be doing with your life. Because I used to go to work every day excited, and for the first time in my life, and after 10 years of working in education, was feeling lackluster and knew I needed a change. And so I had some friends that were coaching, and I had just I had my first son in 2012. And so I was kind of at that point where I knew I didn't really want to be a stay-at-home mom, but to have more flexibility and be able to maybe work from home someday, but still be able to help people sounded awesome. But I had no idea how you would do that. I was sure that this was a pyramid scheme and that I couldn't really do it. It didn't, people don't earn money doing this. And I followed some friends for over a year, and they had seen great success. They were at Summit in 2013, and after literally watching them for a year, going to my job, very unhappy, being really just really unsatisfied in my career, I reached out to them, and I was like, I don't know what you guys are doing, but you're in a growth environment. You guys are happy. When you get back from Summit, we need to chat, and I need to go. There was no question. I didn't really ask any details about coaching. I came home from work, and my husband and I, we took the dogs and the baby around the block, and I said, this is what I'm going to do. And he was like, okay, whatever, like, sure, let's do it. Let's do T25, because it really was going to start with that. I needed health and wellness to be front and center of my life, because I knew that was part of my unhappiness. I wasn't committed to anything, other than walking the dogs and running here and there, but I was a collegiate athlete. And so I was really used to being, fit and just feeling strong. It didn't matter what I looked like, but I felt good about myself. And I didn't. I was, a year postpartum. And while my weight was where I wanted it to be, I was not the person that I wanted to be on the outside or on the inside. So I jumped in. I dove in head first, and I decided that I was going to be great at this. I was going to change a lot of lives. I was going to reach one new person every day and help them. And it didn't have to be about anything about Beachbody. It was just going to be a resource and a reference and be a friend. And that's how I was going to gain confidence in this, because I was going to just have people that, valued me for who I was, not because I was, now a Beachbody coach, because I was worried about that. I was worried about what people would think. I cared what my friends and family would think if I was, that person selling stuff on Facebook. That stuff, I really worried about that a lot. But I just decided I would dive in. I put my blinders on, and I'd focus on myself, get myself to be a better version of myself, because my son deserved the best of me. He was getting me 1 hour a day, because I was working full time with a commute. That was it. 1 hour a day is what I had with my son, and I was yawning through it because I was tired, and I needed more. So we started and completed T25, had a great transformation with that. Again, not just on the outside, but on the inside. And my husband did it with me. And I connected with a lot of people when I first started, because I wanted to share this opportunity with them, because I knew that I had a lot of friends that were feeling the same way as I was. And they all said no. They all said, we're not doing that. We're not going to be part of a pyramid scheme. We're not interested in any of this. A lot of them have now joined, but they did say no in the beginning. But I wasn't going to let that stop me. So what I quickly had to learn was that I really had to gain trust with people, and I needed to do this in a way that was very me, and that was just being open and honest and just sharing. One thing I should mention is that I did have a family blog that is really severely neglected now, which makes me sad, but I'm blaming it on the second kid, because I hear that's what happens when you have more than one child, is that things get lost in the shuffle. But that was sort of how I had this really loyal following of people that read my blog, and it was just like our trip to the pumpkin patch or something crazy about the dogs. I mean, that was just, I was always sharing things like that, and I had this loyal group of people that really loved my blog and followed me. And I'm not a very good writer, you guys. It was just more of just an outlet for me and a way for me to communicate with families, how it started when we were not living near them. And they were all the first people to join, because that was the safe place for me to share starting out, was on my blog rather than on Facebook. I don't know why, because I would write in the blog and then share it to Facebook, so everybody was seeing it. But they all joined. And so here I was with a group of challengers. I had my first challenge group that I ran, I had 26 challengers, which was a lot. Like, I don't recommend that to my coaches. I'm like, there's just too many people. But I didn't know how to say no. And so I took them on, and I had a great upline. I have a great upline coach who really helped me. But I had this group of people that were super committed to working on themselves, and just, I wasn't inviting to the coaching opportunity. I was just inviting to the health and wellness opportunity, because that was sort of how I started and wanted to get going too, was to work on myself, health and wellness wise. And so those were then, I had a group of challengers, 26 of them. And so we did a challenge group together. And as we kind of closed in on that was when I really got the chance to present this coaching opportunity to most of them. And I didn't wait till it was over, but a lot of them wanted to see results and transformation and get started. And so we got them started. And it took me 30 days to go Emerald. So I wasn't like an overnight Emerald kind of person. It took me 5 months to go Diamond. So it wasn't like this overnight. I know we hear of a lot of people that go Diamond a lot faster than that. And a lot, maybe not in 5 months, but a year and a half. It doesn't really matter at the time. I think it matters on the practice and what your goals are and what it is that you're looking to achieve. But so for me, when I got going and I had a team of coaches that were joining me, that's when this got really fun. The teacher and me was so excited to have a group of people that I could help reach their goals. And I didn't really know what my goals were when I first started. I knew that we were struggling financially on 2 teaching salaries to pay for daycare, car payment, our rent, our bills. I mean, there wasn't really much that was left. So when I first started, an income goal was to pay for daycare. I thought if we could get that covered, that would be such a lesser burden for us, to be able to cover that. And so that was really my goal in the beginning financially, was to be able to pay for daycare. And I knew I couldn't retail that much. I knew I wasn't going to be hitting Success Club 50 every single month. So I knew that I needed to find people that matched my energy, and I needed to help them start their coaching business, and I needed to know exactly what their goals were so I could help them build their business in a way that was going to help them get there. So we got them started, and I had no idea what I was doing. My upline wasn't really that, she was kind of just getting started herself. So I'm going to kind of walk you through what I did to get people started then, and how I've kind of evolved it now, and how I get my coaches started, and why I made that switch. So when I first started and I got coaches started, I didn't ask them what success looked like to them. I didn't ask them what their goals were. I assumed everyone else joined on board to pay for daycare, to leave their job, to whatever it might be. And I scared a lot of people away. I was so excited and energetic for the opportunity that they had at hand that I assumed that everybody wanted to accomplish the same things that I wanted to accomplish. I assumed that everybody wanted to put in the time that I was putting into this to reach my goals, and they didn't. And I had a few coaches that quit because they told me they can't do what I do. And I really had to take a step back and look at that, because when I looked at what I was doing, I was very responsive, glued to my phone, responsive. I'm not this way anymore, but glued to my phone, responsive. And so they would often say, "Oh, I didn't expect for you to answer right away." And it was around the clock. Anytime they had a question, I was there to answer it, which on the flip side might be a really good thing. But on the other side, I've got this new coach that's trying to balance their life and figuring out how this fits into their life. And here I am just bouncing back information immediately. And so I really had to kind of look at that, but also for myself, for boundaries and priorities, to kind of set more office hours, because same is true with customers. They don't expect for you to be sitting on the other end replying right away, So I had to kind of revise my plan a little bit. And so as I've gone on, I'm going to walk you guys through what I do to get coaches started now, and why this has really worked well for me, because I overwhelmed a lot of coaches in the beginning. And so now I sort of have it down in a way that I don't overwhelm them, but I set them up in a position to be successful and to hit the ground running if that's what they choose to do. But then if that's not their goals and their mission, that they're not quite ready to share just yet, I'm giving them all the same tools that they need to be successful. So when the time is there and the time is right, they're able to do it. Success Club is definitely something that we have a culture of on my team. I would say that's something that we're really strong on, because we run phenomenal challenge groups. We always fill them. And my coaches understand the value of Success Club, and that it's really helping somebody change their life, by pairing fitness and nutrition together. It's not just about the sales. And it took me a little while to be able to kind of figure out how to help my coaches see it that way, but it was kind of an evolution of that. So sorry, I feel like I'm talking in circles, but I've got my notes here. All right, so what I kind of want to tell you is what the first 30 days looks like for a new coach for me. I'm always inviting to the coaching opportunity. Challenge groups are probably still my #1 recruiting tool. Most of my customers start because they have my coaches start because they have personal health and wellness goals that they're working on. And so they start in a challenge group. And I think for me, this works out really well, because they know how to run a challenge group because they've been a challenger, and they also see the level of support and coaching that I give my challengers. And so they really understand what that looks like on the back end, so it's like, it's not this guesswork when they first start. However, I'm at the point in my business now where I am getting more people coming to me for the business opportunity. I've been able to retire from my job. I don't work at that job that I hate anymore. I probably should told you guys this in the beginning, but my second son was born in August of 2011 or 2014, and I did my maternity leave, and then I didn't go back. But I had replaced my income after a year of coaching. I had fully replaced my teaching salary, and that was sort of my hustle and my goal to be able to do that. And part of that comes with this being able to help get coaches started right so that they can duplicate what it is that you're doing. So for the coaches that, whether they started in a challenge group and they sort of understand what a challenge group is, or they came to me for the coaching opportunity, I run a sneak peek every month. The third Monday of the month, I start a sneak peek. And so I plug people in there. I have 5 videos that they self-pace their way through, and then we'll start the next week. And it kind of aligns right because my challenge groups will start then the first Monday of the month. So when they'll finish the 5-day sneak peek, and then they'll sign up and they'll be ready to go. So every new coach I plug in as a challenger into my 30-day challenge group. I treat them like they're a new customer. I tell them I don't really want them focusing on inviting anybody just yet. I want them to focus on themselves. The first 30 days of their business is to really focus on themselves. Really dive into their fitness program, be a product of the product. We get them plugging into personal development. But I don't really have them do the inviting part so much yet. I do ask them for them to do sharing, which I'll share in just a second how we ask for them to do that. But inviting, and of course you've got some people that were like me that just like dive in and want to start inviting all their friends. But for those that that's the part that scares them the most, this really takes that scary part away, because this journey always starts with you and your personal wellness goals, right? So we're going to start there. We're going to spend the first 30 days plugged in, working on your goals, your why, and just really starting to feel that transformation, and not just physically, but that mental transformation that's going to happen when we plug you into a really positive, uplifting environment, and you plug in every single day. My challenge groups have like a daily response that they need to reply to. So even if they only plug in once, they plug in once every single day. And while they're doing that, we also have them begin our Coach Basics training, which is embedded in our team page. That is less business, like less about team cycle bonuses or anything that's going to just overwhelm them, and more about, again, focusing on their own personal journey. So they'll be reading their personal development 10 to 30 minutes a day, whatever they can fit in, and they'll be following their fitness calendar and drinking Shakeology every single day. And so the assignment that they have that day, it might be about inviting, like how would you go about inviting? I'm not asking for them to do it. We're just kind of sharing about what it would look like and giving some examples of, like my personal invites and what I might say, and forming and the Power of 3 tracker, and kind of introducing them to all these things. But their assignments for the day are their vital behaviors, essentially, to push play, drink their Shakeology, do their personal development, and share about it on social media. And we're training them how to share about it, so it's not just like them and their shake and a sweaty selfie, but posting quotes. Like we'll tell them, share your favorite recipe on social media today, and why you love it and why it's easy. And so they're kind of already they're playing the coach role without actually doing the coaching. And so when it comes time for them to start inviting, they sort of already have this army of personal ambassadors that has been following their journey, and they'll announce their coaching and people will join them. But again, the big part is that they're working on themselves. And so then once those 30 days are up, some are going to be a little bit more ready to run than others, but know that in the beginning, that is, for me at least, and I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but my coaches they're nervous, they're excited, they're not sure where to begin. And so you kind of just have to like rein them in a little bit, because they want to just do everything and they want to do it well, and they want to just, like hit the ground running. And, I'm not going to stop somebody that wants to do that, but I want to make sure they don't overwhelm themselves at a pace that they set themselves up to either not feel successful or then just too overwhelmed. But I always get them on a getting started right call my goal is within the first week of their sign up. I've started to do group calls now. I'm not a huge recruiter, you guys. 3 to 5 a month tops, some months 2, some months 4. But most of my coaches that are starting are really here and wanting to, to build a business. And so, but I'm not a 30 coaches a month. I've never signed that many coaches in a month, and I don't know, there's nothing wrong with doing that. I don't have people knocking down my door like that, but 3 to 5 a month is what I have. And so again, because I do my sneak peek and they all kind of sign around the same time, and I'm really kind of trying to get them all signed on so they can start in that challenge group too. I get them on a call together and we talk about, what does success look like to you? What are your goals with coaching? What are your personal goals? Like, what are your personal health and wellness goals? What are your goals with coaching? What does a perfect day look like for you? And so I kind of get a feel of where to go from there with them. And so if it's somebody that tells me, I'm here to build a business, like I'd love to be able to leave my job, going Emerald is a goal within the first 30 days. If you want to build a business, you need to activate your business center. So you're going to go Emerald in the first 30 days. And that's going to be easy because in your first 30 days, you're going to be working on yourself. You're going to feel amazing. And you're going to be sharing about it. So people are going to know what you're doing. It's not going to come out of left field. They're not going to be like, wait, what are you doing? They're going to see the evolution over the 30 days. And so that's the goal, is that they'll go Emerald in 30 days for them to be able to activate their business center. Not every coach that I have that comes on, that's the pace that they want to take. But anybody that does want to build a business, I still tell them, 30 days to Emerald is really what your goal should be. And if you miss it, that's okay. We'll keep working on, who to invite and who to join. I mean, those should be 2 people that you want to run with, 2 people that you can't imagine this journey without. A lot of us probably signed our spouses or mom or somebody. So really, you're just looking for one more person to hold your hand and run. So it shouldn't be as scary as it seems, but for some people, it's really scary. And so once we get our Getting Started Right call, they're plugged into their challenge group. And then from there, one thing that we do as a team, we always host a 10-day Shakeology challenge, the second Monday of every month. And this is a really great starting point for my coaches. Reason being, it meets people where they are. It lets coaches really get coaching under their belt without this feeling like they have to sell challenge packs. Just some people get really overwhelmed about that, but they're just really promoting health and wellness here. We're talking about a lifestyle change. And so they've been sharing about Shakeology and how great they feel because since they introduced it to their life in the past 30 days. And so then they're going to invite their friends and family and whomever else to join them on a Shakeology challenge. And so I tell my new coaches, your goal is to get 3 to 5 people in that Shakeology challenge. And those are your first lives to change. I mean, those are the people you'll never forget because they joined you on your first challenge group. And we really, really, really focus here. Again, they don't need to purchase a program. They're just purchasing packets of Shakeology directly from the coach. And we're working on just how they feel. And our coaches get a chance to really run with how great it feels to help other people, posting positive quotes and tagging their challengers and getting them up and running themselves. And then their confidence is up because then they also have their first group of challengers in 10 days that saw some great results. And so they have something to share about that. I know for me, my first 10-day challenge, I had 8 or 10 people in there and it was like 80 pounds lost or something. So there was a ton of weight amongst people that, I was able to share, like I did this and then this was the result of it, rather than kind of just sharing my own personal journey. I then had other people to share about who also were joining on and seeing success. And so it was creating confidence in that coach. I had a lot of confidence after that I could do this because I knew that A, others would join me because they did, and B, that I could help people, that this journey wasn't going to be lonely. It wasn't going to just be me on my own health and wellness journey, but I had people that were going to see results too. And that was on them because they committed, but I gave them the opportunity to join a group to be able to see success. And once they do that, we then talk about how those folks can be the people that join you in your first challenge group. I let my coaches run their first challenge group with me. So my new coaches will join me as challengers, and then the second month, they can add their people in, their customers that they have, and we'll do it together. And on their third month, depends on the person, most are ready to run, or in that time, they've really connected with another new coach that we've run the groups together. They found their own success partner, and they begin running them on their own. So they're not alone, but they're not glued to me either. They have success to be able to know that, wow, like I came in and there was 3 to 5 other new coaches. We're all learning together. We all have the same questions. We do our getting started right calls together. So they're all in the same place. They're all nervous. They're all scared. And then, the conversation in my personally sponsored page, they have these bonds already that they've developed. And, they say, and I see it because there's 2 of them here and 3 of them there. And they're, they're teachers, they're moms, they're pharmacists, they're whatever. And they connect up and they run these amazing challenge groups that then they're going to bring on coaches and do the same things and duplicate the actions and help their coaches get started without it feeling like you're just on your own. Because in the beginning when I did this, I always invited my coaches to join me in challenge groups, but I didn't really know how the process looked and how it unfolded in terms of how to help them gain confidence that they too can be successful at this and that it doesn't have to be as hard and as complicated as sometimes I think we can make it. Keep it simple. I provide my coaches with challenge group guides, but oftentimes they create their own because, my guide sounds like me and their group should sound like them. So they'll recreate it, but they have the tools and the confidence to be able to do that. And again, I've had to sort of fail forward through some of that when a new coach would enroll and I would, Success Club and this and that and this and that. And they would be like, whoa, like, I just want to push play on my program. I had to sort of figure out how to embed all of those lessons in, but at a pace that wasn't going to almost derail them from seeing success because they didn't see how they could possibly do all that so quickly. And so I don't know exactly what my numbers are of coaches who sign on and hit Success Club, but generally speaking, I typically average between 10 and 16 coaches hitting Success Club every single month. And my new coaches, of the 3 to 5 that I'll sign every month, at least one of them is a success starter. So hits the ground running and hits Success Club. And that's really a direct result of them. I don't attribute that to me. I just think it's me understanding a little bit about, and this is what you need to know too, is just what are their goals? What do they want out of this? If I have a lot of coaches that come on that want nothing more than just accountability and to be part of a group, and that's okay. I don't push them. We just sort of work on, okay, well, what does, how are we going to keep this motivating and exciting and fun for you? Because it's not just the discount, it's the community, it's holding them accountable, and they'll share it when they want to share it, but they're not necessarily here to build a huge booming business. And when I first started, I assumed everybody wanted to replace daycare costs and leave their jobs. And I now know better that my excitement for them being here needs to tone down a little bit because I am excited often. I'm an easily excited person, but I need to make sure that my excitement isn't overwhelming them. It's just matching their level of excitement. And so my recommendation for you guys is, when you get new coaches that come on, make sure you clearly understand what this business is going to mean to them. And that, of course, can change. Make sure you keep asking that question, because I've got some coaches who come in and they have these big goals, because they've been following my story. So they want to do what I do, but then when they get here, they're like, whoa, I'm not ready for that yet. And that's okay, and they don't have to be, but they have to remember I didn't start here either. I started just like them with 0 followers on my business page. I had to build that page, build people's trust, let them, follow me for a while to see that, they can do this. And so I just try to keep it really simple. And I find that that is what works best for me and for my team, and to help set them up for success. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything on my notes here. Sorry, guys, I talk kind of fast too. But I don't know. I guess, Greg, I don't know if this is a point where maybe you want to let people ask me some questions, or if you have questions.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can jump in, but I was taking notes and I have a couple questions. So if somebody just wants to be a discount coach, you said you add them into your 30-day challenge group. But then what do you do after the 30 days? How do you keep them engaged?
So, no, that's a great question. So I run a 30-day challenge group that is a little more focused, like, because I want to make sure I'm getting people's goals and their why and all of that. But then we have an ongoing team group where at the end of 30 days, we roll all of our challengers into there. So their accountability, and it doesn't just end after 30 days. They roll with everybody else into the big group. And if there's somebody who prefers a smaller group, I retain them. I keep them back. And they can start another 30-day group. And I've got a lot of coaches that's good accountability for them, and it's fine. Our large group is actually phenomenal. It's pretty large, but it has become like such a uplifting kind of forum place. Like, it isn't just like sweaty selfies all day. It's kind of like a place where people can post other questions. You know, it's a lot of women. We don't have a ton of men on our team. I don't have a single male coach. Not that I don't want one, I just don't have any. And that's okay. And we do have a few men, but we do have like a male group because our women's group can tend to be a little more questions about the time of the month, or, you know, like they become like this safe haven like place for a lot of moms, because most of the coaches on my team are moms. And so that place is actually a place that most of our coaches and our discount coaches especially, I mean, they're like leading the show. They're just not ready to invite others, or they're not motivated to do that, but literally they're keeping that group alive sometimes. So I don't just tell them like, hey, thanks for coming along. A discount coach, I treat like a customer. I check in on them regularly. I see their progress through their goals. I make sure that they're still on track with their Shakeology, or keep them informed about new products that are launching in case they want to snag their copy of Hammer and Chisel, and make sure they know when our team group is going to be. But I don't add my discount coaches to our team page. And I shouldn't say that. There are a few that are in there because they want to be in there. They want to be in the know about things because they may want to actually coach at some point, is what they've told me. But if they're just true discount, I just treat them as a customer, because the notifications can be really overwhelming for some people. And in the beginning, I would add discount coaches in, and a few were like, you got to get me out of there. It's just too many questions, and I'm more confused now than ever. And so I'm like, okay, this isn't working in the way I thought it would. So we'll get you out of there.
Yeah. Okay, so your big group is for customers and coaches, or just coaches?
Both. So yeah, our coaches are in there too. So it's pretty big. I mean, it doesn't start as big at the beginning of the year. And we actually used to clean it out every quarter. So we would like refresh it every quarter, and we would allow people, and we did up until September, and actually it just started to gain really good momentum. Yeah. So we didn't. And the end of the year can be kind of hard anyway, in terms of like, I don't know, the energy just seems to be low sometimes in all areas. So we kept the group up, but we'll restart it in January, which is a great time, because that's when we train our coaches to make sure that they're reaching out to all of their customers and their discount coaches that are in that group, and making sure they're still engaged. You know, they can rejoin the next group, but they need to get back on Shakeology. Like, if they're not on Shakeology, this is the time to either choose a new program, get back on Shakeology, like start the year off strong. So we'll reignite that group on January 1st. And we allow everybody everybody that's currently in there, a lot of them will roll over, but you know, I've got some customers that aren't super engaged in there. So it's a really great time to have a conversation to find out about their goals, like to make sure that they're still on track.
So what do you do with your working coaches, like your personally sponsored coaches? Like, do you meet with them, or do you just talk to them every day? Or obviously you have 5 diamonds at least, right? So, I mean, do you work with your diamonds, or does everybody do their own thing? Or
Yeah, well, so I do a leadership call with all diamonds and above. We do once a month Zoom call. We just had it this week, where we sort of just talk about, you know, different things that we're working, that are doing. I share some tips with them, and but everybody else, we do have pages that we constantly are interacting and engaging on, posting about, you know, different, I don't know, concerns or things that are working. And so we work very closely together all the time, daily. So I do a call, like I said, once a month. Most of my coaches work full-time. They're working to not work full-time, some of them, but you know, in professional careers and things. So finding time during the day, I can't get anybody on a Zoom call. So in the evenings is when we do them, but being respectful of their time with their families too. So we just do a call once a month.
Cool. And do you meet with like brand new coaches, like on a regular basis?
Yeah, so I do any brand new coach, I do the Getting Started Right call with them. And I try to do that within their first week. My goal is their first 48 hours of sign up, because that's usually when they're like, what did I just do? Or if like they're really nervous and they're not really sure where to go, and you add them to the team page, their head is spinning, and they're excited all at the same time. But now that I have kind of, most of my enrollment kind of, and for coaches typically happen around the same time, not always. Sometimes I have somebody that joins at a different time of the sneak peek. They're just ready. I'll do like a new coach call for my new coaches, but then like tomorrow I'm doing a new coach call for anybody in my downline. So anybody who has enrolled in the last 30 days, like, let's get on a call, let's see what we're doing. And my diamonds know that they should be sharing this information with their coaches to get their coaches on a call within the first week too, to kind of talk about, making sure their websites are up and running and just really getting to know them, making sure that you understand why it is that they're here. But I will run a new coach call for my entire downline, so anybody can hop on tomorrow. So that's a larger one.
Okay, great. Does anybody else have questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so when you're getting started right call, you mean a Zoom call you do with them?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think you have to do a Zoom call. I tend to, because I like to do a screen share to kind of show them their back office a little bit. I don't really go into the nitty gritties in detail, but that is when I will kind of talk to them about, because they're going to see the Success Club box in the middle. So we'll kind of share like why that's there and what that is, where they'll find their new customers when they come in, just kind of giving them a brief tour of the back office, not very long, but I found that to be a really beneficial part of the Getting Started Right call, because when I didn't do that, the next day or two, they're going to get on there, we're going to set things up, and they're going to have a bajillion questions. So kind of just get it all done at once. And it takes more time, because usually it ends up being about an hour, which is why I've started doing them like a couple people at once, or, saying like, hey, I've got to get it started right call tonight. Does anyone else have a coach that needs to hop on? And I have the upline come on too. Like, it's not like I'm just going to have just their coaches on, like the upline needs to come too. But I don't know, it's been hugely helpful, because then I'm really visual. So I know for me, like, that was what I needed to see all that stuff to be able to kind of, have an idea what was going on back there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks.
And,
I have a question. Can you hear me?
yeah, go ahead.
It sounded like you were getting most of your challengers to join the coaching sneak peek. Is that right? And if so, how are you doing that? I would imagine people would be really freaked out by even the thought.
See, I think in the beginning, when I first started coaching, I was really nervous to share the coaching opportunity. And I don't know why. And I think some of it was just maybe confidence in myself in terms of what I was doing, or I hadn't maybe reached a level of success where I felt like people would want to join me. But once I kind of got over that, I had no problem inviting them. And honestly, the sneak peek for me is a really gentle, like, my downline does a great job inviting to the sneak peek, and we host them together as a team, because it's kind of like a little more gentle of a way, because even if you're a coach that doesn't feel like you're quite an expert yet on what you do as a coach, you're adding into a group where there's lots of questions going on. It's self-paced. There's no pressure for you to join. It just gives you an opportunity to learn more about what we do on the other side as a coach. That's what I tell them. But I just keep it upbeat and lighthearted. And not everybody is going to necessarily say yes, but every single one of my challengers, I present the opportunity for them to join the sneak peek during their first 30 days. And I just keep it friendly. I mean, I would say for me, one of my strengths is definitely relationships. I think I build really strong relationships with people, because they're just sort of based on being a friend first. And so they don't find it to be, I'm not trying to get them to sign up as a coach for any other reason, for added accountability for them, because they're rocking their journey, and I know that they can inspire somebody else to do the same.
So we have a lot of emeralds, even some diamonds, that have teams that are mainly discount coaches, and they struggle to get people engaged and want to work the business. So what would you advise for them how would they go about getting these coaches to do something?
So that's where, like, I don't know if you guys do 10-day challenges, but that honestly has been like the part for me that gets some discount coaches to really turn the corner, because our discount coaches are like walking billboards. You know, they live the lifestyle, they're loving their products, they're drinking Shakeology every single day. And I'm sure people are noticing that there are changes going on. And so a 10-day challenge is like a really gentle, easy way for people to invite others to kind of just, you know, see what it is that's helping them reach their goals without it feeling like they're selling something. Because most of my discount coaches are really opposed to, like, they don't want to sell things. And so usually what I'll say is, and I just did this because I have some discount coaches. I don't have, most of my business are coaches that have, you know, some business building goals. Some are acting a little more on those goals, but my discount coaches, you know, what I'll message them and just say, you know, hey, do you have anybody that you think might want to, you know, join our 10-day Shakeology and try Shakeology and, you know, kind of see what it is that you're doing? And they'll say, well, yeah, actually, maybe I'll ask like my mom and my sister and whomever else. And then, you know, they'll ask them, and then they'll join the 10-day challenge. They'll put their sister and their mom and their friend or whoever else in. They'll be in there too. And I'll tell them, you know, we'll do this together. It's a private group, and it's, you know, our 10-day is scripted in terms of like our daily posts. So it's pretty easy to follow. And I'll ask them, you know, hey, will you take day 3 and post it? And they'll say, oh yeah, sure. You know, just copy and paste it, post it, tag your people. And it gives them the confidence to realize this isn't so scary. Like, being a coach isn't so scary. And so I don't know if you guys do anything like that, but that works really well for me.
So we do run a lot of us run free challenges. Is your 10-day like a clean eating, or is it a Shakeology challenge, or? It's
a Shakeology challenge. It's a 10-day Shakeology challenge.
So everybody has to follow Shakeology to get into it?
They do. They have to buy 10 packets. Sometimes we have some coaches that run 5-day challenges that work really well for them too. Honestly, I've never had anybody join me after 5 days, but after 10 days, most people join on to either continue with HD or challenge pack or something. I just think they need to get through that weekend. I don't know, 5-day, like they want a quick fix versus like a lifestyle change or something. I'm not really sure, but it's $50 plus $5 for shipping. And so the cost is a little bit less, I don't know, overwhelming for people. I don't get a lot of objections to that. Whereas, you know, like $140 challenge pack, you know, people don't even have the confidence to ask for that because they're uncomfortable. They don't quite see it, that it's what it's about versus just the sale. But Shakeology challenges, they'll dive in and they'll invite people to those. Not all of my discount coaches, but I have a few that is how I'm able to get them to gain some confidence to feel like, you know, you don't have to invite like strangers. Like, what about, you've got friends and family that probably have health and wellness goals they want to work on. Let's ask them if they want to join. And honestly, some of my discount coaches, for them, it was a little easy because I had, before they became a discount coach, I might have had like them and their mom or their friend in a 10-day challenge. Like, they started there. And so they already had their challengers. I'm like, well, go ask Amy if she wants to join a 10-day challenge again. Like, she had great results. Let's get her started again. And so they'll jump in that way.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, we do something similar to that as well. So I know Lisa and Sherry, a couple of our coaches, run a 7-day? And they get the sampler pack, you know, the sampler. And that gives them 6 packets, and then they kind of spread it out over the 7 days. So that works real well too.
Yeah, and I think that's a great strategy. I mean, I think, you know, because again, with the 10-day challenge, what we really focus on is more health and wellness. Like, of course, they're replacing 1 meal a day with Shakeology, but we're giving them a clean eating meal plan. And we're giving them, because I know for me, some of the objections that I get from people is that they're not really so sure that they can commit, or that they don't maybe believe in themselves that they could do this. And a Shakeology 10-day, it's 10 days, you know, so most people know that they can be successful for 10 days and they see results in 10 days. They feel better. They may have lost a few pounds and some inches, and they got a taste of our team and the energy and the excitement that goes on in those groups, because we definitely, as a team, like, really bring the noise on a Shakeology. We run them as a team, so it's a really big group of excited people, and so it works pretty great. But I think some of it too with your discount coaches is when I first started, I think I was really quick to just present this opportunity as a way for them to save money and to be a discount coach. And I don't really do that much anymore, to be completely honest. I have some people that I would claim as a discount coach because they don't do much other than just enjoy their product and plug into the groups, which is totally fine. And I support them 100% whatever they want to do, but they did originally want to help people. Like they're like, well, maybe but then their confidence was lost somewhere along the way. And so it's a matter of igniting that again. But I don't really present the coaching opportunity as just a discount. It's an opportunity plus a way to save on the products that you already love. And so I think that way I've kind of shifted the mindset of, if you want to be successful and help people, lead healthier, more fulfilling lives, I would love for you to, together we're better, we can change more lives. And I believe in you. And so that way it's not just like they came on with the mindset of a discount coach. They came on with the mindset of, she helps people and I know that I could too.
Very cool. Anybody else have questions?
Yeah, I have a quick question. So the sneak peek, you said you had 5 videos, so that means that it's 5 days?
Yes, and then we allow for questions after that. I leave it open for 7 days so people can kind of get caught up, but there's 5 videos I do. Day 1 is just my journey and then introductions. Like I have them all introduce themselves, say where they're from, about their family, what interests them in coaching, and what objection they have, because we typically cover those throughout the week, but then they can kind of share about it and see that they're not alone in terms of everyone else has similar objections. And then on day 2, we talk about the vital behaviors, what it takes to be successful as a coach, and then also like what my role looks like as a coach, like the value, what I do on a day-to-day basis. And then the 3rd day, we talk about sharing and inviting. So I talk about how I've mostly grown my business via social media and using Facebook. So that way that's not like a big secret that they'll have to post on Facebook. And now I know that's not the only way to grow your business, but I would say that a majority of my team, we do run our business on social media and then do face-to-face invites and things too. Day 4, I do the compensation plan. I give an overview, but I also attach the comp plan for those emeralds that like to read all the details. And then I also share like the team cycle bonus video, which confuses some, but others appreciate because they then understand the legs and everything else. And then so it's actually 6 videos because in the afternoon I actually post. This one was a really hard video for me to post, but I felt like I needed to be really transparent with people and in terms of my income and how it started, at maybe like $35 a week and how it's grown. And then how many hours on average I work now, since this is, my full-time role, so that we're not misleading them that, you can earn a 6-figure income and work 20 minutes a day. I mean, that's not realistic. So we set them up to understand the evolution that it took me 2 years to get here, and for some, it may take a little longer, it might take less, just depends. And then on the last day, I just sort of wrap it up. I tell them, but I talk to them like they're already coaches. Like, okay, so now you're ready to sign up. What are you going to do? Here are your options. A challenge pack gets you X, Y, Z. If you're military, like I break down the process so they know exactly how to sign up. Like now go contact your coach. Can't wait to introduce you to the team. We're so excited. Once they do sign up, we announce them all in the sneak peek. So people are seeing all the other people that have decided to sign up. And it kind of eases the fear of some. Like, I don't want to be the first one to say yes. And they're usually pretty successful for our team.
Okay. So, it's you doing the videos? Do you have any of your teammates like giving their perspective, or is it just you every day?
So in my sneak peek, it's just me. And so like my newer coaches and things will be in there. My diamond coaches pretty much run their own.
Right.
And then they will pull some of my videos if they want to, like if they want to show my story. But I really encourage my diamond coaches, once they're recruiting, to really be focusing on recruiting to their team, not just, me and my team. And while my story might inspire some, it's important that they hear their story too. Right. And so they kind of mix and match them.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to do it. I think there's important value to all of that, hearing other perspectives for sure.
Yeah, it's just, so you post 1 video a day. and then you just allow for chit chat throughout the day, and then another video the next day, and just one a day.
Yep, and I have a question at each one, like on day 1 or day 2 where we talk about the role of the coach and things. My question is like, who inspires you? Who's your biggest motivator or something? And then they'll kind of keeps the thread bumping. And so I try to have like a takeaway question for them, so I know who's actually engaging with the post.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, great. I think that about wraps it up. We'll let you get off here, but we greatly appreciate all your tips. A lot of things we're doing, but there's always new things that we can learn and apply. So definitely appreciate you coming on and sharing with us this evening.
Sure. Happy to help. I'm glad I could be here. Thanks, guys, for having me.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.